Right now this morning, today is the one-year anniversary of the deadly October 7th attacks in Israel. Coming up, hear one mother's devastating recount of how the day transpired in her own home. And from genetics to lifestyle, what you need to know about your breast cancer risk. Dr. Kathleen Christian shares vital information in studio this Mindful Monday.
Plus, there's a frost advisory out there right now and the potential for a freeze warning. We do have warmer conditions coming in later on this week, and I'll talk about that in your quick cast in just a moment.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for watching News 8 Now this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jared.
It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. So the chilly mornings are back. That is one sign that we are heading in fall's direction, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday was cold, but will it stick?
Yes, it'll stick. Maybe a few more days, and then we warm it up a little bit. I've got to get used to this as well.
Yeah.
So as we get into it here, we're looking at that frost warning. It goes until 9 a.m. today. And as we finish out, you're looking at how it all plays out. You can see it kind of stretched all the way from the central area all the way up to the north as well. So that continues on. Temperatures in the low to middle 30s, and you're seeing already eventually some 20s in there already. Look, for instance, Sparta holding on to 26 degrees, Black River Falls at 25 degrees, 37 for Eau Claire, and 31 in Ladysmith. And once you get down to La Crosse, you're looking at 39 degrees, more of those low to upper 30s down to the south. In fact, as you take a quick peek here, we're also seeing temperature changes here at least up to 26 degrees cooler in some cases than we were 24 hours ago today. Not much in the way of fog right now. We had Boscobel down to about 3 miles. Eau Claire was getting down to about 5 miles, but it seems to have returned. The radar is quiet for us currently, and as we get into it here, it's going to get drier because we're going to get warmer, and it's a whole lot of sunshine on the way. Is there any rainfall coming? The best I could say is maybe about a 10% chance toward the weekend or next week, possibly, but you can see the dry conditions that continue on, filling in, getting into near at least abnormally dry for La Crosse, getting closer to that. Eau Claire holds on to the sunshine, getting to 66 degrees by 2 o'clock, and La Crosse is 39 degrees, eventually getting at least to 66 by 2 p.m. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. Happening today, jury selection is set to begin in the trial for the man accused of killing Winona mother Madeline Kingsbury. Adam Fravel's murder trial expected to start at 1:30 this afternoon at the Blue Earth County Justice Center in Mankato. In June, Fravel's attorneys argued he would not get a fair trial in Winona County due to extensive media coverage. That motion was granted and the trial moved. Fravel is currently facing 2 charges of first-degree murder. And a quick reminder for Bangor commuters this morning, State Highway 162 will be closed at the railroad crossing just before Interstate 90 this week as crews conduct reconstruction work. The La Crosse County Highway Department expects the crossing will be closed until Friday. The scars from October 7th run deep for Israelis caught up in the attacks. Many were sleeping in their homes when Hamas launched the massacre. CBS's Haley Ott is in Israel and spoke with a mother still trying to cope with the aftermath.
Signs of shattered lives are frozen in time at this Israeli home. Painful memories of a day that changed everything. For Batsheva Yahalomi, the October 7th attack never ended.
We didn't close the story. We are still there in that Shabbat, that Saturday.
She and her family were shocked by the sound of gunfire when Hamas stormed their kibbutz Nir Oz community. Militants shot her husband, Ohad. The last time she saw him, he was bleeding on the ground.
And I didn't say goodbye. I just thought how to save my children.
Yahalomi was captured with her baby and 10-year-old daughter. But in the chaos of the kidnappings, the 3 managed to escape when they fell off a gunman's motorcycle. Her 12-year-old son, Aitan, spent 52 days as a Hamas hostage in Gaza before being freed in a prisoner swap. Ohad is still missing, believed to be held captive.
It's been a year since the October 7th attacks, but here at Kibbutz Nir Oz, it looks like they could have happened yesterday. There are burnt-out buildings, bullet holes, and the community is still suffering.
Around a quarter of the people in Nir Oz were killed, kidnapped, or seriously injured in the rampage.
How does it make you feel to be back here?
It's not my first time, but it's a battlefield, and I see Ohad's blood on the wall. It's not easy.
Yahalomi's battle is for the return of her husband so that her family can finally start to heal.
Well, some Israeli families have chosen to rebuild their homes that were attacked. Yolomi says she and her children will never go back. Instead, they're creating a new home to make new memories. Remembrances, protests, and vigils of the October 7th attacks are also expected to be held on college campuses around the country today. Those demonstrations will include support for Israel and the Palestinian people. And in anticipation of those protests, Columbia University in New York is increasing security. Back here closer to home, all 17 residents of the Traditions of La Crescent Assisted Living Facility are displaced this morning following a weekend fire. According to the La Crescent Police Department, first responders evacuated residents around 3:30 p.m. yesterday as flames spread throughout the building. Fire departments from 5 neighboring communities helped extinguish the blaze. The Red Cross and First Lutheran Church are helping displaced residents. The cause is still under investigation. Just days before Hurricane Milton's expected landfall, Florida's largest evacuation effort since 2017 is underway, according to state officials. Forecasters predict Milton will make landfall Wednesday and plow across most of the state. Officials are issuing both mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders for at-risk areas. The National Hurricane Center warns flooding could threaten millions, with Milton's arrival particularly dangerous as some areas are still saturated from Hurricane Helene. And to the campaign trail, about 4 weeks from Election Day, both presidential candidates and their delegates are crisscrossing the country, hoping to shore up support. Vice President Kamala Harris speaks to 60 Minutes in a presidential election special that'll air tonight. Naomi Ruckham tells us where the candidates are headed this week.
Visits to battleground states along with media appearances will occupy the presidential candidates this week. Now just 29 days until Election Day, former President Donald Trump made his 4th visit to Wisconsin in a little over a week Sunday, a state he narrowly lost to President Biden in 2020. Trump also returned to Butler, Pennsylvania over the weekend, where he survived an assassination attempt over the summer.
12 weeks ago, we all took a bullet for America, and all we are all asking is that everyone goes out and votes. And all of this will be for nothing if you don't get out and vote.
Meantime, Vice President Kamala Harris is on a media blitz this week. Tonight, she and running mate Tim Walz will appear on CBS 60 Minutes. On the docket, the war in the Middle East on this one-year anniversary of the Hamas attack in Israel, along with the economy and immigration. Over the weekend, Harris appealed to Gen Z and millennial voters on the popular Call Her Daddy podcast, where she spoke at length about abortion rights.
Look, this is not about imposing my thoughts on you in terms of what you do with your life or your body. It's actually quite the opposite. It's saying the government shouldn't be telling people what to do.
This week, Harris gains on-the-ground support from her most significant supporter yet, former President Barack Obama.
And today, both candidates will attend events in commemoration of the October 7th attacks. A local organization is shining a spotlight on domestic violence. New Horizons Shelter and Outreach Centers hosted its 3rd annual Dare to Self-Care event at the Hmong Culture and Community Center. That event is part of a series of events for Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Day to care for yourself. Victims of domestic violence often don't even get the chance to care for themselves.
If you know someone who's experiencing domestic violence, or you are, you can visit their website to find resources to get help. The time now is 6:08. Still ahead on your morning news, the economy is adding more jobs than expected. A new Barbie being released to celebrate Diwali. And if you use the SNAP program to help feed your family, your budget is about to get a slight boost. The devastation from Hurricane Helene is impacting an extremely important corner of the tech industry. Coming up, more on the supply chains completely disrupted by the hurricane. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Halloween is almost here, meaning some animals at the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago got to celebrate with some sweet treats and pumpkin during the kickoff of the Boo event. Every weekend between now and the spooky holiday, guests will get to see their favorite orangutans, gorillas, sloths, and even the internet's favorite new species, pygmy hippo. They got one of those. Wow. They get to see them enjoy in the seasonal treat. And as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the city with the longest permanent floating bridge. That is Seattle, Washington. Stay with us. Your consumer news is after the break.
We need a real working people in Washington.
What a phony. Cook spent the last decade working as a political operative, earned her money helping defund the police radicals like Mandela Barnes, the most anti-police candidate in Wisconsin history. Now, Cook won't let you protect your family. She wants to ban the most popular rifle in the country, earning an F from the NRA. Rebecca Cook, phony insider, dangerously liberal.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Sometimes a celebration means fireworks and loud music. I'll just tell you that I'm celebrating 35 years at the board store, 80 years on the planet, and my daughter Danielle becoming the new general manager of the board store. Let what's personal to me be personal to you with savings on your next home improvement.
Call for a prompt free estimate on windows and doors, on siding or gutters, on a bathroom or a kitchen, on a sunroom or deck.
Better products.
Better people.
Better prices.
The Board Store, improving your home, improving your life.
Arthritis, high blood pressure, breast cancer. Almost everyone has a pre-existing condition and could lose health insurance if Derek Van Orden and Washington insiders get their way. They take money from big insurance companies, then try to strip coverage for pre-existing conditions. Van Orden and Washington insiders don't care about you, so if you get sick, you get dropped. Time to drop Derek Van Orden and these Washington insiders from Congress.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and I approve this message.
2 pancakes, a fresh egg, and 2 strips for under $5?
3 pancakes, 2 eggs, and strips, all for under $7.
A full breakfast with eggs, bacon, and pancakes, starting at $4.99, only at Perkins.
Your home, a place of comfort and safety, could be trying to tell you something. Interior cracks, sloping floors, hard to open doors and windows are all signals of foundation failure that you can't ignore. Choose American Waterworks.
Career politician Tammy Baldwin doesn't share our Wisconsin values. Baldwin's life partner is a Wall Street executive who has invested in industries that Tammy oversees in Washington. But Senator Baldwin refuses to disclose her partner's financial assets. That's a conflict of interest. They're getting richer while you're paying more. Tammy Baldwin's not on your side. She's in bed with Wall Street.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join the team and give today.
For over 5 decades, Jim's Truck and Trailer in Winona has been your solution for everything transportation related. In 1971, my dad Jim recognized truckers and families needed a reliable partner who will have their vehicle road ready. Still family owned and operated, our mission has never wavered. Whether your ride is a truck and trailer, auto transportator, charter bus, or RV, Jim's Truck and Trailer's fleet of ASC certified technicians can handle any issue or upgrade. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks, repair, refinish, remarkable.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
All right, as we go into it, frosty start this morning, man. It is cold out there, so please bundle up the kiddos and bundle up yourself as you're heading on out. Get that nice cup of coffee and get you settled. Tracking the tropics today, warmer after Wednesday as well. We're looking at not only Milton, but we're also looking at Leslie. That's the fish storm out there in the Atlantic. Hey, as far as fog is concerned, not much really happening right now. We've come and gone with some fog already down to at least 3 miles visibility to 1 mile visibility going into areas by Boscobel. Eau Claire was holding on pretty much. In fact, they've settled back down. You can still see that there's some fog showing in Eau Claire. That may happen for about at least down to 12 miles of visibility. And of course, that being said, we'll get back into how this all looks for you. That being said, take a look here as we get into it. International Falls showing you a little bit of cloud cover, not much happening as far as rainfall in our area. So we're going to stay dry as we go through the next few days, but some colder air is going to continue to drop down on us as we go right into possibly Wednesday going into Thursday before we really start to get warm Not much happening with the radar. We'll get this out of the way, but you hold on to Eau Claire, and we'll get into it right now. 34 degrees as we start the bus trip going for the kids going to school. And as we hold on, we're going to be looking at 69 degrees probably as we get into the afternoon hours for you. La Crosse is looking at 36 degrees, chilly to cold. In fact, we'll also hold on to a low chance of, no, we won't. We'll hold on to maybe a little bit of frost, holding on to the forecast. We'll get into what's happening here with Sky Tracker. Not much happening as we go right into the 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock hour. Temperature still in the 30s to near 40 degrees. By the time we get into at least the 11 o'clock hour, we're holding on to conditions that are having a little bit of cloud cover sneak in, but we're also holding on to dry conditions. When I come back, I'll give you a better overview of how this all plays out.
Thank you, Art. In your morning consumer news, U.S. employers continue to hire new workers at a rapid pace. The Labor Department says the economy added 254,000 jobs in September. That is much more than analysts were predicting. The unemployment rate dropped to 4.1%. Restaurants and bars leading the way, adding 69,000 jobs last month, well above the monthly average of 14,000. The Hindu Festival of Lights, known as Diwali, begins this month, and Mattel just released a new Barbie to mark the occasion. The newest limited edition Barbie doll is dressed by Indian fashion designer Anita Dongri. Her midnight blue outfit is designed to reflect the radiant lights of the festival. It is adorned with dahlias, jasmine, and Indian lotus, all symbols of strength and beauty. It is beautiful. People who use the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, will soon see a slight increase in their benefits. The increase comes from a cost of living adjustment that'll take effect this month. The update comes with changes to income eligibility for the program. The net monthly income threshold for a family of 4 will increase from $2,500 to $2,600. Just over a week ago, Hurricane Helene slammed into Florida, destroying cities and towns along the Gulf Coast. The storm raged toward and inflicted widespread devastation across 6 states. The devastation in North Carolina also impacting an extremely important corner of the tech industry, as Ivan Rodriguez reports.
On the outskirts of Spruce Pine, North Carolina, a town of less than 2,200 people, are 2 mines that produce the world's purest quartz.
These mines in this little town are responsible for 80 to 90% of the crucibles that are used by the semiconductor manufacturing industry to make silicon chips.
Because of the destruction and damage from Hurricane Helene, it could take weeks for the mines to be operational again, let alone rebuilding communities devastated by the storm so specialized employees can return to work. David Bader says this could lead to disruptions in the supply chain.
This will have an impact in our chips, and it could substantially add the delays to the processes, and that means delays in consumer products that use these chips, and also driving the cost to consumers higher.
During the last global chip shortage in 2021, caused by the pandemic, car manufacturers were building nearly complete cars, but without the chips to power critical features, they couldn't be shipped. Although some chip manufacturers may have several weeks' supply of high-purity quartz in order to continue production, a longer shutdown paints a grim picture.
Any disruption, such as this event from Hurricane Helene is causing, may have profound impacts for potentially months to come.
If you'd like to support Helene efforts monetarily, we'll have a link on our website. That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:18. Let's check in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett for a look at our forecast.
All right, and away we go, holding on to potentially now looking at this frost and warning. I want to continue to cover this because this is something that's going to be a little bit dangerous today. We have the potential for freeze potential here as well. So we're going to be seeing the frost advisory till 9 o'clock. Warmer conditions will ensue as we finish out the finishing out the work week, going from Wednesday into Friday, where temperatures could reach up to middle 70s to around the low 80s. Here's a look at your frost alerts here in the form of a frost advisory. You're going to be seeing conditions there with low temperatures or temperatures down to the low to middle 30s. In fact, we're seeing some 20s in there already now, so we'll keep an eye to see if anything changes into a freeze warning for us or a freeze. We're looking at the possibility here of drier conditions still working in the area. Yes, by Tuesday or so, there may may be some kind of movement of light rainfall trying to skirt the northern tier of the United States, trying to get into northern Wisconsin, but for now it looks to be fairly dry. That being said, the winds are going to be light too as we go into the next few days and continue on. We do have some tropical information to tell you here. Category 2 Hurricane Milton is going to turn into a Category 3 quite soon if it hasn't already done it. We're also looking at it making landfall as you get into Wednesday, and that's back down along the peninsula of the Florida area, and that's going to continue to skirt, possibly getting up into the Atlantic again and then out into the Outer Banks up by North Carolina. So we'll keep an eye on that for folks that maybe just really don't need any more type of hurricane stuff going on right now. 30s all the way into the mid-morning hours, and 40s and 50s will ensue for Eau Claire. Sunshine on the way for you with a few clouds sneaking in. Now, these clouds weren't supposed to be here, but they're starting to move in, coming in from the west. We'll keep an eye on that. As far as moisture is concerned, some of it's already kind of skirting in all the way down by Mason City, but for right now, it's really not affecting us. We'll continue on by the time we get into at least 4 o'clock. Not much happening. The winds are coming out of the northwest and then turning westerly. Eventually, you'll see temperatures holding on to the middle 60s to around 70 degrees. That's what I think we'll get today, about 70 degrees under mild and sunny sky conditions here. We get into Tuesday, you're looking at temperatures from the low 60s all the way down to at least 73 degrees, possibly 74 to 75 degrees once you get farther down to the south. That being said, we'll roll right into your 8-day forecast, and we'll take it away with 70 degrees today, mild conditions holding on into Tuesday as well. And then we get up to at least the warm conditions once we get into Wednesday. Temperatures around 76, possibly 77 to 78 degrees floating into Thursday as well. Then we see temperatures rising up to at least the lower 80s. And once we get to the weekend, we flip the script and take temperatures down back to the middle 70s, middle 60s, and then middle 60s once you get down into, again, 4 areas right by Monday for next week. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. The time now is 6:21. Still ahead, a groundbreaking study in England is giving newborns like one-day-old Amelia a head start on health. Coming up, how genetic testing at birth could save lives and why one mother's heartbreaking story might change how we approach newborn screenings.
Coming up in sports, Sunday NFL action. The Vikings across the pond taking on the Jets, and the Packers out on the West Coast against the Rams. Catch the highlights coming up in the Morning Blitz.
I worked as a truck driver for 36 years.
And then one day I got this letter.
Your retirement will be cut.
Will be cut in half.
You don't forget something like that.
Every paycheck we put money away.
But because of Wall Street greed, boom, it was gone.
But Tammy Baldwin saw what they were doing and wrote a bill to save our retirement.
Then she fought like hell to pass it.
What Tammy Baldwin did for our families, you don't forget something like that.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Get ready for the holidays and save money during our fall sale at Interior Designs Holman. All of our carpets are on sale. You'll save money and get more for free. Free measuring and estimates in your home. Free furniture moving, even that heavy couch and king-size bed. Free removal of your old carpet and padding, and we'll recycle it. Free life of carpet labor warranty for as long as you own the carpet. All at the lowest prices of the year and 12 months no interest financing. Save money and get more for free during the biggest carpet sale of the year going on now at Interior Designs Holman.
As the mom of a daughter, I'm livid that boys are now being allowed to compete in girls' sports. It's just wrong, and I blame Tammy Baldwin. She voted to let biological men into women's sports. Worse, Baldwin co-sponsored legislation to force girls to share locker rooms with biological men. Tammy Baldwin is failing to keep our families safe. Tammy Baldwin's extreme values are wrong for Wisconsin. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Who's that Derek Van Orden think he is? He thinks he's better than us. Like that time he screamed at somebody, I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman.
Language!
Who does Derek Van Orden think he is, supporting an abortion ban?
I'm Rebecca Cook. Let me tell you who I am. I grew up on a dairy farm, run a small business, and I wait tables. Around here, we work hard, respect our neighbors' freedoms, and aren't looking for special treatment. We need one of us to represent us. That's why I approve this message.
You just have to get in the seat of a John Deere Gator XUV 835M, not because of the spacious cargo box, or because it can tackle any terrain, not even because it tows up to 4,000 pounds. You just have to get in the seat because something about being this productive just makes you smile.
Visit Tractor Central, take a seat, and see for yourself why nothing runs like a deer. Start now at TractorCentral.com.
I'm Stacy Klein. As a volleyball mom, I remember looking forward to our week for team snacks. But now even the generic brands are expensive. And while career politicians are busy pointing fingers and bickering, Wisconsin families are still suffering. That's why I'm running for state senate, to lower the cost of living, cut taxes, and get Madison back to working as a team again. Because Western Wisconsin families are tired of settling for generic brands and generic politicians.
To the Morning Blitz. Week 5 of the NFL season is here. Maybe the first somewhat normal week for Jordan Love. Well, besides for the fact he was missing Christian Watson due to an injury and Romeo Doubs due to a suspension. But the Rams defense has some holes and the Packers look to take advantage. Let's go to SoFi. First quarter action. 2nd and 10 for the Packers. Love on play action, dropping back, has some time, and he's going deep right into triple coverage. But Jaden Reed doesn't care, makes the catch anyway. Got to take one more look at this one. Through the defenders, somehow comes down with it. Nice play. Very next play, Love hands it off to Josh Jacobs. Stuffed at the line, but bounces it outside. And Jacobs gets in for the score. His first of the season. Packers go up 7. But the Rams would answer. 3rd and goal at the 1, and here's Kyron Williams up the middle and in. Rams tie it up at 7. Then disaster would strike. 2 minutes until the half. Love on 3rd and 12, rolling out, feeling the pressure, and makes a terrible throw right into the hands of the defense for a pick 6. That was bad, but here's the good. Second half, pack down 3. Love on 2nd and 6, has a man. That's Tucker Kraft, and then watch the tight end turn on the Jets. Uses the stiff arm, picks up a block all the way in for the touchdown. Packers go up 4. Rams needing a response. 3rd and 1. Stafford goes downfield, but that's Xavier McKinney picking it off for the 5th straight game. This man is unstoppable. He's going to return it up to midfield. And then a few plays later, 2nd and goal, and Love goes right back to Kraft on the tight end screen, and Kraft is in for his 2nd touchdown of the day. Packers go up 11, but the Rams not going away. 1st and goal, Stafford finds Tutu Atwell for the score. 2-point conversion, no good. Packers led by 5, and the Rams get one more chance. Stafford on 4th and 5, but that pass is broken up, and the Packers take the win 24-19. A rough start for Love and Company, but certainly a strong finish. Let's go across the pond. Minnesota Vikings looking to go 5-0 as they face off against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets over in London. Early in this one, Vikings up 3, but the toss goes off the hands of Ty Chandler, and it's scooped up by the New York defense. Disaster for Minnesota, but a few plays later, Rodgers quick pass, and it's picked off right into the hands of Andrew Van Ginkel, and look at him fly. Nobody gonna catch him. Takes it all the way in to Buckingham Palace. Touchdown Vikings. Van Ginkel showing the British what Rock Valley, Iowa is all about. Next New York drive, Rodgers 3rd and 8, but over the head of his receiver, and that's Cam Bynum with the pick. Rodgers not a good start in this one. And then later in the half, 4 minutes left, Vikings on 1st and goal. They give it to the fullback, C.J. Ham, taking it in for 6. Vikings go up 17, but after a big kick return, Jets trying to get one more score in, and Rodgers finds Allen Lazard, all reliable. Jets pull within 10 at the break. 4th quarter, after Sam Darnold interception, Rodgers on 1st and goal, plenty of time, finds Garrett Wilson open for 6. Jets pull within 3, but Darnold would bounce back. 2nd and 9, he's going to find Justin Jefferson for the big pickup. That gets Minnesota into field goal range. They go up 6. Jets with one last chance. Rodgers going to the sideline, but it's picked off. Stephon Gilmore. It's Rodgers' 3rd interception of the day, and that would cost them. Vikings win 23-17. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Chart your career with a fabricator position at Chart Industries. Starting wage up to $30 per hour with no experience necessary. Excellent pay and awesome benefits. Apply now at jobs.chartindustries.com.
How much are your old windows costing you? Heat that either escapes or enters windows accounts for roughly 30% of the energy used to heat and cool your home. For a limited time, River Valley Remodelers is offering a free energy audit for your home's windows. We'll show you the energy loss and help you find the perfect option that fits your budget and matches your style. Our windows are energy efficient and designed for all of our weather, keeping your home comfortable year-round. River Valley Remodelers. Call today for your free energy audit.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Fentanyl is one of the most lethal drugs on the market. This much can kill thousands. These deadly drugs are pouring across our border. But Biden, Harris, and Democrats have done nothing to stop it. Tammy Baldwin claims she's trying, but she's failed. She took credit for an anti-fentanyl bill she didn't write and opposed efforts to secure the border. Senator Baldwin and Democrats have done nothing, and our communities are paying the price.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need, because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. These places employ us, sponsor the Little League team, and feed and clothe us. That's why I'm proud of the work I've done to support our business community. I know that the side of the aisle you're on matters less than being on the side of our main streets. No party has a monopoly on good ideas. I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm working for our businesses, working for our communities, and I'm working for you.
Asher Laston Exteriors is committed to craftsmanship, innovation, and outstanding customer service as Western Wisconsin's trusted gutter and gutter helmet experts. Our highly trained certified technicians can install gutter helmet onto new or existing gutters. Gutter helmet blends in beautifully with your home, can withstand the heaviest of rainfalls, and is backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Save up to 22% with zero down and no interest or payments for up to 18 months with seamless gutters and gutter helmet, brought to you by Asher Laston Exteriors.
Chart your career with a fabricator position at Chart Industries. Starting wage up to $30 per hour with no experience necessary. Excellent pay and awesome benefits. Apply now at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
In your morning medical news, newborn babies are tested for dozens of genetic disorders, but researchers are expanding screening to look for more than 200 rare conditions. They're hoping to speed up diagnosis and treatment, as CBS's Tina Kraus reports.
At just 1 day old, Amelia is already making her mark in England as one of the first of 100,000 babies to have their entire genetic code sequenced to spot rare diseases.
It was no-brainer because Amelia will be tested for 200 different genetic conditions, so she will benefit, but also will contribute to the wider research population.
Researchers took a sample of Amelia's blood from her umbilical cord that will be tested to look for faulty genes in her DNA. Scientists will only screen for disorders that develop in early childhood and have effective treatments.
And the treatments and interventions which are available for all of these conditions can have a dramatic impact on that child. They can reduce the symptoms, and in some cases, they represent a cure.
I'm so excited. Yeah. 2 years ago, Joshua Curtis was full of life. He's now 9 years old and can no longer walk or talk. His condition, a rare brain disorder called MLD, is one that will now be screened for in the study. Joshua's mother is urging all parents offered the test to take it.
Speaking as a parent who is losing their child day to day, do not even hesitate. If you can save your child's life, that is more important than anything in this world.
If Joshua's condition would have been detected at birth, he may have been cured, but now the damage cannot be reversed. Researchers hope screening for more conditions sooner will give newborns the strongest start possible to living their best life.
Researchers say they'll follow up with all the babies when they turn 16 to see if they want to continue with the study. That'll allow scientists to analyze other parts of their DNA for potential conditions that could develop later in life. Wow. La Crosse's past is coming to life. The Here Here project is expanding its interactive storytelling to the north side. Since 2015, this unique initiative has turned downtown into a living history book. Now it's bringing forgotten tales to northern neighborhoods. If you spot an orange sign, that means you're standing on a piece of history. All you have to do is dial the number, enter the site code, and voices from the past will transport you to another lifetime.
So we've had Here Here in downtown, and we wanted to expand to the north side to capture half of our city that tends to be overlooked at times, and we wanted to share these stories on the north side.
About 70 Here Here stops have been added to La Crosse's north side. America's favorite grocery store is right here in our backyard. Hy-Vee recently claimed the title of best supermarket nationwide. To celebrate, they fired up the grills for a customer appreciation day this weekend. Shoppers enjoyed free burgers and hot dogs as a thank you for their votes.
I'm just excited to see everyone, greet everyone, say thank you, say hi, see what's going on in their lives, just meet the community.
Hy-Vee was also voted America's best grocery store for produce and ranked as the #2 best grocery store for prepared food in the nation. The 55th Oktoberfest race weekend in West Salem is now in the books. What started as a two-day event in the 70s has evolved into a cherished community celebration. This year's short track spectacular featured 16 divisions with more than 400 cars competing. Vintage cars added to the nostalgia with special 8-lap heats and 15-lap races.
Fans come from all over the country to be here and be part of it, and they're watching online and what have you. But it's just been it's an awesome event, and it's very exciting, very great racing. If you're a race fan, you really enjoy it. If you're a casual race fan, you think it's pretty cool too. So we're blessed to be able to host this event.
And the time now is 6:36. Let's check back in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett to tell us what to expect on our morning commute.
All right, Alexander, as we get into it, what we're looking at here, the possibility of, again, holding on to conditions that are going to be a little bit frosty for us as we go into the morning. We're looking at frost potential here, holding on to at least with 20s and 30s right now in our local forecast, but warmer air is going to come in by the time we finish out for Wednesday going into at least Friday, and then begin to flip the script and start to cool it back down again. That being said, we get into it here. Here's a look at the frost advisories to continue on. Also, mostly all in the blue here right now, and you can see those temperatures are very cold. We're also holding on to the potential for a little bit of light rainfall to try to sneak in and brush northern portions of Wisconsin. But for now, it looks to be that we're going to stay dry down by La Crosse for the next several days, going into again possibly next week. Here's a look at what's happening as we track the tropics here as we go from Category 3 hurricane. Now it is a major hurricane as of now, holding on, and it continue to become grow into maybe a Category 4 hurricane, similar to what Helene did, and eventually break down just before it gets into cooler water, believe it or not. So we're talking at least temperatures holding on to middle 80s at least. As we get closer to the coastline, it turns into at least maybe some lower 80s. All right, so that means you're going to be having a look here at what's happening here. When I come back, I'll give you an overview of what's happening with our weather. So please stick around.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Vivian is turning 8 months old today. She is also always smiling, loves going to pumpkin patches.
So cute. And Tucker is turning 8 years old. He loves being outside and being around his family.
All right, how about Riley? Riley's turning 18. She loves spending time with her nieces and nephews.
Happy birthday. And if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, that's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Coming up, breast cancer doesn't discriminate. It affects young, old, and even men. Learn the latest on prevention and treatment coming up on Mindful Monday.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Maxwell White, done right.
Maxwell White Plumbing proudly announces our first annual food drive in celebration of being in business for 30 years and our commitment to the communities we serve. From October 1st to 31st, we're partnering with the La Crosse Hunger Task Force. Donate while our professionals are at your home, at our West Salem location, or directly to the Hunger Task Force in La Crosse. As a thank you, get $15 off your service and we'll donate an additional $15 on your behalf. Join us in making a difference this October.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. These places employ us, sponsor the Little League team, and feed and clothe us. That's why I'm proud of the work I've done to support our business community. I know that the side of the aisle you're on matters less than being on the side of our main streets.
No party has a monopoly on good ideas.
I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm working for our businesses, working for our communities, and I'm working for you.
Get an 11% rebate on everything for your next project at Menards. Choose from the largest selection of garage doors in stock or design your own using our free garage door design program. Get this 9x7 garage door for $399.99 after rebate. Upgrade your garage with a Chamberlain Smart Garage Door Opener. Monitor and operate your garage door from anywhere. Get this Wi-Fi garage door opener for just $149.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Who's that Derek Van Orden think he is? He thinks he's better than us. Like that time he screamed at somebody, I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman.
Language! Who does Derek Van Orden think he is, supporting an abortion ban?
I'm Rebecca Cook. Let me tell you who I am. I grew up on a dairy farm, run a small business, and I wait tables. Around here, we work hard, respect our neighbors' freedoms, and aren't looking for special treatment. We need one of us to represent us. That's why I approve this message.
Phones were made to help us connect, yet somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic, don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else.
Ironic.
Ironic. But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Traffic jam.
Ugh, and I'm already late.
All right, as we get into it here, we're looking at the frost freeze that continues to move into the area. Yeah, don't worry about the sea surface temperatures right now. We'll get into that later, but I want to show you this as we go into it. You're looking at this frost freeze that continues. We'll see this probably tomorrow and maybe the day following as well, going into Wednesday. That being said, these temperatures are already down into 26 degrees, in some cases expanding down to at least the 30s right now. So it is pretty chilly to cold. We've got the colder air coming in from Canada. As you can see, this continues to press along us as we go into and this is over the last, say, 6 hours or so, but this will continue as we go into the next couple of days. We'll take a look at the tropics as well. You're going to hold on to this. This is the big news for the day, with this system continuing to track as a major hurricane right now. Will continue to do so as it passes the Bay of Campeche and then continues to work its way towards Florida. As it does, it'll break down, possibly getting into a Category 3 hurricane, still as a major hurricane, but making landfall on Wednesday, exacerbating most of this area with rainfall. Yet again, that's already rain-soaked and probably still soggy. We'll also see this carry on past the peninsula of Florida and head out to at least near South Carolina, possibly, and then track a little bit more out to the sea, but we'll keep an eye on that. Here are the sea surface temperatures, and this is just for the morning right now. They're only in the low to the low 80s right now, quite possibly getting into the middle to upper 80s to finish out the day. There's the drier air associated with this down here, but we have some dry conditions of our own here locally. 34 degrees for the kids going to school today with mostly sunny skies up in Eau Claire, 69 degrees for the afternoon today. Then eventually as you go over to La Crosse, you're looking at 36 degrees. You got to bundle up the kids as we go through the morning hours and get up to about 70 degrees. We'll also see as we go through midweek all the way into the weekend, fire danger will be a hazard because we'll be drier, holding on to temperatures expanding from the middle 70s to the low 80s, and that will continue all the way into Friday. As I mentioned, we'll start to cool it on down gradually as we go into the weekend. Your highs for today, you're looking at, again, temperatures that are holding on to widespread 60s to around 70 degrees. And then once you get into the zones, you're going to see these conditions to be a little bit warmer for a lot of folks and, of course, cooler for some folks that are trying to get out of this frost in the early morning hours. That being said, we'll continue on to look up to the north, much cooler there. But then we'll see as we finish out, we'll get into conditions like this. 70 degrees today, holding on to 73 degrees for tomorrow. Sunshine is abound with drier conditions leading into the middle portion of next week, going into the end of the week. We're looking at least temperatures getting to the low 80s, and then we get in the middle 70s and cooling you on down. Dry conditions will ensue with light winds, believe it or not. We'll even add in a few clouds here and there, but it's still going to mean we're going to be much drier as we finish out the next several days. So, back to you.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time to focus on education, early detection, and support for those affected by this disease. Joining us today is Dr. Kathleen Christian, a surgeon from Mayo Clinic Health System, to discuss the importance of this month and share some valuable insights about breast cancer. Good morning, Dr. Christian. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
So start by just telling us, why is a month like this so important? It's a big month. We see a lot of promotions and stuff for it, and maybe like one thing you want everyone to know about breast cancer.
So I enjoy October because it's really an opportunity for people to have an invitation to talk about breast cancer.
Right.
It's an invitation for a woman to tell her story who's a survivor of breast cancer. It's an opportunity for someone to nudge a coworker, a family member, a friend to get their screening mammogram. I don't know that I can narrow it down to one thing that's the most important, but I think my message would be that our treatment is better than ever. So getting a diagnosis of breast cancer, there are great chances for survival. The other thing is we're minimizing the side effects of treatment as well. So it's not as scary. Treatment does not cause as many side effects anymore. And that screening mammography is key for early detection, and that's really important.
Okay, so some good news there, and then some not so good news, right? Studies are showing more younger women being diagnosed with breast cancer. So what can you tell us about that, and what factors might be contributing to this?
It is interesting that we're seeing a trend of a higher number of younger women getting breast cancer. And we're seeing it in a special subgroup, and those are what we call estrogen receptor positive cancers.
Okay.
And so we feel like it's somewhat related to estrogen exposure. And it may be related to other trends we're seeing, such as early puberty, delayed pregnancies, and other environmental factors.
Okay, interesting. But then you mentioned, so there's that part, but detection stuff is
we
getting
don't
better.
screen women less than age 40. So
Right.
I feel like it's really important that even finding a lump, get it investigated, even at that age group, older 20s to 40, if you find a lump, get it investigated.
Okay, very good advice there.
All right, it's really not about men right now, but men can get breast cancer too, correct?
Very true. It's a very low percentage risk, but if a man feels a lump below the nipple area, they as well should get it investigated. Most of those lumps are benign in nature, but there is the risk or a possibility, so have a health professional investigate it.
Okay, is there anything we need to know about that?
Well, sometimes men can get lumps that are more related to maybe medication, hormonal changes, and this is what we call gynecomastia. It's a benign lump behind the nipple in a man, but again, if a strong family history or there's other cancers strong in the family, I would still recommend having it evaluated in usually older men, 50 and above.
All right, good to know there. And so genetic testing, something we're hearing more and more about, how has that changed our understanding of breast cancer risk?
Well, we're more aware now of multiple genes that are associated with breast cancer, but triggers within the family history can be a family member with a young age of diagnosis of breast cancer, multiple family members with a history of breast cancer, and a family member that might have had breast cancer in both breasts. And there are other cancers that tend to be associated with the genes that can be causative of breast cancer. And they may be pancreatic cancer, very aggressive prostate cancers. So those kind of things in the family, it'd be good to talk to a health professional and see if he needs some genetic counseling or testing.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Christian, for sharing your insights with us.
Wonderful to be here today. Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
I'm Tony Nicopol. Coming up on CBS Mornings, our Begnaud's America series. David Begnaud is going to introduce us to a set of twins who are giving back to their community after being raised in foster care. And since this is a David Begnaud story, you bet there's going to be a special surprise. That's coming up in just a moment on CBS Mornings.
Fentanyl is one of the most lethal drugs on the market. This much can kill thousands. These deadly drugs are pouring across our border. But Biden, Harris, and Democrats have done nothing to stop it. Tammy Baldwin claims she's trying, but she's failed. She took credit for an anti-fentanyl bill she didn't write and opposed efforts to secure the border. Senator Baldwin and Democrats have done nothing, and our communities are paying the price.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
Arthritis, high blood pressure, breast cancer. Almost everyone has a pre-existing condition and could lose health insurance if Derek Van Orden and Washington insiders get their way. They take money from big insurance companies, then try to strip coverage for pre-existing conditions. Van Orden and Washington insiders don't care about you, so if you get sick, you get dropped. Time to drop Derek Van Orden and these Washington insiders from Congress.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and I approve this message.
I have had the privilege of working with an exceptional team to install over 12,000 home improvements for local homeowners in the last 35 years. Now it's time for me to spend a little more time with my bride of over 50 years. Fortunately, I found an experienced remodeling contractor and corporate project manager to lead the board store into the future.
And with an outstanding team by my side, I am proud to lead this amazing company my dad has built. And we look forward to continuing to serve you with the great value that is the board store trademark.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland, as in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face
with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Nice.
I'm Stacy Klein. As a volleyball mom, I remember looking forward to our week for team snacks. But now even the generic brands are expensive. And while career politicians are busy pointing fingers and bickering, Wisconsin families are still suffering. That's why I'm running for state senate, to lower the cost of living, cut taxes, and get Madison back to working as a team again. Because Western Wisconsin families are tired of settling for generic brands and generic politicians.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hovde is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash and flew it to Eric Hovde's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hovde took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hovde.
Download the News 8000 app today.
Get the day's news in your inbox. Email newsletters from News 8 Now. Sign up today. Go to news8000.com/newsletters to get started.
Welcome back at 6:52. Time for your morning news now. All 17 residents of the Transitions of La Crescent Assisted Living Facility are displaced this morning after a fire. According to the La Crescent Police Department, first responders evacuated residents around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. As flames spread throughout the building, fire departments from 5 neighboring communities helped extinguish it. The Red Cross and First Lutheran Church now helping those displaced residents. The cause is under investigation. Today marks 1 year since the brutal attacks by Hamas on southern Israel that killed about 1,200 people and set off the war in Gaza. The terror group also took about 250 people hostage. On the eve of the anniversary, thousands gathered around the world. Elsewhere, people also protested, demanding a ceasefire. And jury selection is set to begin in the trial for the man accused of killing Winona mother Madeline Kingsbury. Adam Fravel's murder trial is expected to begin at 1:30 this afternoon at the Blue Earth County Justice Center in Mankato. Back in June, Fravel's attorneys argued he would not get a fair trial in Winona County due to extensive media coverage. That motion was granted and the trial moved. Fravel is currently facing 2 charges of first-degree murder. And a reminder for Bangor commuters, State Highway 162 will be closed at the railroad crossing just before Interstate 90 today as crews conduct reconstruction work. The La Crosse County Highway Department expects the crossing will reopen, that is, on Friday. With the presidential election now just 30 days away, former President Donald Trump intensifying his focus on Wisconsin this weekend. Trump made his 4th campaign stop in the state just over a week, rallying in Juneau. This marks his 8th visit to Wisconsin during the election cycle.
Kamala Harris has left them stranded. This is the worst response to a storm or a catastrophe or a hurricane that we've ever seen, ever. Probably worse than Katrina, and that's hard to beat, right?
Vice President Kamala Harris took the night off the campaign trail, but will launch a media blitz this week. Jazz filled the air in Winona for a good cause. The H30 Trio performed its 4th annual Sweet Sounds concert to support the Lutheran Campus Center. This year's event moved outdoors after a fire damaged the center earlier in the week. Despite that setback, the music rallied church members as they await repairs on their building.
Do a lot of good. They serve a number of students on campus, and I've been connected with them for years through friends, and I'm also a church musician, so it just seemed to make perfect sense.
The Sweet Sounds concert also offered free homemade desserts. America's favorite grocery store is right here in our backyard. Hy-Vee recently claimed the title of best supermarket in the country. To celebrate, they fired up the grill for a Customer Appreciation Day this weekend. Shoppers enjoyed free burgers and hot dogs as a thank you for their votes.
I'm just excited to see everyone, greet everyone, say thank you, say hi, see what's going on in their lives, just meet the community.
Hy-Vee was also voted America's best grocery store for produce and ranked the #2 best grocery store for prepared food in the nation.
All right, how about this? Current conditions across La Crosse right now. You're holding on to temperatures in the 30s, and of course you'll see the warm up slowly as we get into the day. Here are your highs for the afternoon. We're looking at least 64 to about 70 degrees for your day. And of course, when's it going to rain? Well, probably not till about next week, Wednesday, going into Thursday. Probably about a 50 to 60% chance of rainfall on the way. That means we have some drought conditions still holding on, and we are abnormally dry into the northeastern portion of the state. We're looking at least severe drought there. We're holding on to 70s for the next few days, bumping up to 83 degrees by Friday, and then flipping the script and cooling it on down.
All right, well, it is a game students at Vanderbilt in Nashville won't forget anytime soon. The unranked Commodores knocked off #1 Alabama on Saturday. The final score was 40-35 on Saturday night. Students paraded around the school and the city with the goalposts they tore down after the historic win. The students marched several miles and then tossed the goalposts into the Cumberland River. This was the first time Vandy has ever beaten an Associated Press top-ranked team. Yeah, there they are going down Broadway Street in Nashville. That's what you have to do when you're in Nashville, right?
Been there, done that. No, not Nashville. Well, yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Thank you. We will leave it with that. Thank you for starting your week with us. We'll see you back here at noon.